You are listening to the Metal Moose.
And welcome back to the studio, the Moose Pit here in Oklahoma City. My name is Moose. This is Soundcheck, Acid Witch there. With, so here's the deal behind that. I can't think of a song besides maybe, the original Chris Isaac Wicked Game, where somebody used the tremolo effect. So cool. The guitar solo was great in that. The guitar playing was fun. That cool, first of all, you just know with a name like Acid Witch, it's going to be, stoner stuff. And that's okay. Sometimes it's really good. Sometimes it's boring as hell because it's, just all rehashed Sabbath. The vocals were not my thing at all. I didn't really like the vocals, but I love the guitar riff. I also thought it was kind of cool how they have that kind of, I don't know if it was on purpose, but they have that old kind of 8-track cassette kind of production going on there, which, goes with the theme of old Sabbath-esque kind of music. It was all right, man. I would wear the shirt for sure, just because it says Acid Witch, just number one. It's a cool name. And I thought the guitar solo was amazing. Loved the production. A lot of fun. So, yeah, we're just throwing down another show here. This is kind of a non-scheduled show. I just had a couple hours to spare, so I thought, hey, man, I'm going to go rock out a show real quick, and I picked just completely random tunes. What let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. Yeah, 15 songs. And yes, for no reason whatsoever. These weren't things that people had been asking me to play or that I had lined up to play. I was just like, yeah, man, I'm going to just go pick a bunch of songs that I've never heard, and I bet you that nobody else has ever heard before either. So out of the old Soundcheck hard drive, and we'll play them. We'll do a show. We'll do a little sound check, and that's what we're doing. This is where I play metal. I talk about the song, tell you what I think about it. By the way, Acid Witch, I'm going to go ahead and give you probably a 3.75 taco rating. And I would wear your shirt. So if you have shirts available, I would love one. 3XL, please, because I'm a large gentleman. Look at my Opeth shirt today. Opeth, just the logo across the chest, which I'm kind of going for that now, just the whole logo across the chest look. Yeah, so instead of all the gory, disgusting art, I'm going with the logo. Yeah, I'm getting old, I guess. The gory stuff isn't as cool anymore. Yeah, so with Soundcheck from the Moose Pit here in Oklahoma City, it's me, Moose, and you, listening to metal. Let's get it on, shall we?
This is Chris from Cold Creature, and you're listening to the Metal Moon.
A little bit of Blast Unicorn there for you. Sometimes I think that a musician or a band, or because I honestly think that was a Casio and a guitar and a guy in his room busting out weird music. So I almost don't want to give the satisfaction of what I think that they want to hear, because I believe that was created for a certain purpose, and that was to make people go, that was absolute garbage, and why would I ever want to listen to that? And I feel like that person would say, yes, I've accomplished my goal because I've just created unenjoyable noise. So I don't understand where you're coming from. I don't want to give you the satisfaction of even buying into your plan of wasting people's time. So I'm just going to say not for me, and not even really worthy of talking about. So I feel like I'm almost insulted that was put on, put out as a release, and I don't even know that it was. It probably was off of some awkward comp of just weird music. And listen, Frank Zappa got away with it, and lots of bands have done it and put out just bizarre, goofy ass music, and it turned it into something. But that's not even fair to even compare that to the mastery of Frank Zappa. So we'll get into that. So yeah, this is Soundcheck, and that last song absolutely blew chunks. So there you go. I hope you enjoy that review, because I'm not proud of the fact that I wasted time on my show for you. But hey, that's part of the fun of Soundcheck. You never know what you're going to get. We just play it and we talk about it, and I don't feel the need to talk about that one. So coming up right now was a band called Coffins with a tune called Reborn on Soundcheck, coming to you from OKC. It's Moose.
Hey everyone, this is Richie from Grave Huffer, and you are listening to the Metal Moose.
latest in high-octane metal. Metal Moose. You've been weighed, you've been measured, you've been found wanting. Metal Moose. For the latest in high-octane metal. Metal Moose. Visit them on Facebook at Metal Moose Radio for weekly podcasts and more up-to-date information and events. Metal Up. Metal Moose.
Immediately, when I heard that song, I thought to myself, this is music that, a daughter puts on her dad's radio to scare the hell out of him, thinking that she's doing drugs or hanging out with the wrong people, and that's what made it good. You know what I mean? It's that uncomfortable feeling of, it was very underground. It sounded like it was bashed out in the basement of a nightclub somewhere. You know what I mean? It was very punk rock. It was raw. It was dirty. It was nasty. And I think it was sincere. That, you know what I mean? It wasn't like they put out to do that. It just was punk rockish, and I think that to me it was sincere, and that's what made the tune cool for me. Like, I would wear their shirt, and I would give that about a 4 taco review. Is it ever going to be mainstream? No. Is it ever going to be bigger than what it is? Probably not. But it did have that genuine feeling of piss and vitriol, just anger, and that just almost I should be scared of this music kind of feel to it, and I like that about it. So for me, good taco servings to the guys in coffins. I like that. Most of the time, let me rephrase that. There's a lot of times when I hear music like that, and I'm just like, oh boy, here we go, just blah blah blah. But that I actually, I put my ear on that, and I caught the sincerity of. Now I could be totally wrong. That could be, three kids from rich families just mad because they didn't get a Bugatti for Christmas. But I don't think so. It sounded sincere to me, and it sounded like a group of people I wouldn't want to meet in the alley late at night, because they would put me in a coffin. So yeah, awesome for coffins. I'm a fan. I want a shirt, please. 3XL. So coming up next is a band that I'm almost positive it's not the same band like Dawn's with the Slaughterarchy. Anyway, this band is called Dusk. Anyway, don't pay any attention to me. It's really hot and I'm tired. So Dusk, and the song is called To Follow Him Through All Times, which I don't know who him is, if it's, Ronald Reagan or their brother, or anyway, or maybe it's the guy from He Is, the Go song. I don't know, but they're going to follow him, Dusk, right here on Soundcheck. Here we go.
This is Mike from Silent Line, and you're listening to the Metal Moose. Also, Cheeto dust is appropriate anywhere on the body.
Canada.
And I think this is a great representation of exactly the opposite of what I got from Coffins. I just, when you hear that, tinny hi-hat, kick drum, black metal thing, I almost instantly always go into a, all right, well, here we go. And I kind of felt that way in the beginning, so I'm holding on here going, okay, these guys might pull off some stunning stuff here, and and it didn't happen. So I just didn't find much going on with that I thought was cool. The production sucked, and it was supposed to suck, but the vocals didn't do it to me. It wasn't artsy. I think that a lot of bands kind of think that they're going to pull off something, something avant-garde or fancy when they do that anymore. But man, it's just it doesn't work like that for me anymore. And maybe that's just me, because I like a lot of that poorly produced black metal, with Bursum and Dark Throne and Dode Heimsgard and Gorgoroth and all that early just garbage sounding stuff. But that was, the real deal. And it just, to me, that was Dusk. One taco. I'll give you one for trying. It's not very much, so I'm keeping the rest of them, and I'm going to eat them. I probably wouldn't wear your shirt, because people would ask me, hey, man, should I listen to that Dusk band? And I would say, no, not really. So just thanks, though. Enjoy the fans that you have, and I hope, every time that I don't like a band, I hope that they prove me wrong, and they become, huge in the underground, or they... yeah. That's what that song did to me. Sorry. I don't, I'm a nobody, so my opinion doesn't really count on your music, but that's what I do on the show. I tell people what I think about the music that I play, and I wasn't a fan of that. But I hope that you guys, have great success and have many, many groupies and stalkers and all that fun stuff, and musical endorsements from, hopefully a good production tool or something. Anyway, yeah, so coming up next is a band called Eulogy, with the Dissonant Choir. No, I think that's the name of the album. I think the song is called Deaf Cult. Yeah, so we're going to check it out. I love the name of the band. Love the name of the album. Deaf Cult? I don't know. Is that like Def Jam? Is it going to be a rap song? We're going to find out here in just a second. Yep.
Hi, this is Fern, the vocalist of Pain, Love, and War, and you're listening to The Metal Moose.
We're trapped in a black hole.
Let's see that nipple pierce.
Now, Eulogy, I was 100% all about everything that I just heard. That is great. Hardcore, you know, I'd like sometimes, so I'm not like a real hardcore straight edge guy. I can't even claim to be, you know, I wasn't one of the guys who was listening to Unbroken and Gorilla Biscuits, you know, years ago, and, you know, was listening to Strife and Judge. Now, I like those bands. I know who they are, but I wasn't part of the scene. I was never straight edge, and I would never claim to be any sort of expert on the hardcore sound. But knowing the bands like Judge and Strife and all that stuff, even all the way up to like Hatebreed, of course, you know, I love Hatebreed. It's a big favorite of mine. So. But I can't claim to know a whole lot about that scene, but that was something that I would consider in that vein, and that whole, they reminded me a lot of Morning Again, actually. If you've never heard Morning Again, God, they were on Revelation Records, and As Tradition Dies Slowly is a pretty almost perfect record. I like it. It's one of the things that it's really good to me about that kind of music is that the political outrage is so blatant, and that's interesting to me because it's music with meaning. You know, those guys are mad for a reason, and they're putting it in their music, and I like that. I've always felt like, and this is completely in the left field because I have ADD. When I start talking about music, I go from one thing to the other. But that's one of the reasons I always felt that And Justice for All did so well for Metallica because it was so political. And it was just, you know, the destruction of justice. And, yeah, so anyway, yeah, that's just, but I like that. I love that Eulogy. Very, very cool. I would totally wear that shirt. And I would give that a 4.5 taco rating. That means I'm only keeping half a taco because I'm going to need something to eat after listening to that again. That was awesome. That's something that I would put in my car and listen to. And that's a big deal because a lot of times that ain't happening, Jack. I ain't listening to some of the music I play on this show. But listen, I've found so many good bands and so many bad bands. I'm so blessed to be able to do this because I find amazing music that nobody knows about. This coming up next is a band that sent this in to me called Fracture 818. We're going to check it out and let you guys hear it right here on Soundcheck.
Hello there, grind children. This is the Grind Mother, and you are listening to the Metal Moose Show.
little bit of Fracture 818 there. I hope that's your name. I'm going to have to go back and look in my email to figure out if that's your name, because I don't know. Anyway, so I think it was. So here's the deal. One of the things that I have to do when I do this show is listen to the song as a metalhead, as a fan of music, as a songwriter, a producer, and as a radio director. Like if I worked at a big rock radio station, and also, an artist or a label guy who's trying to sign bands. So I think that there were a lot of really, really good elements in that. I think that the clean vocals were super strength. The production was sick, man. Great drum, the tempo, the rhythm, the fractions, the way it was put together along with the bass, beautiful. I think that inside of the group and everything that I just heard, there are a lot of good possibilities for doing a lot with your music. I think that it needs to be rearranged a little bit. I think that if it were me and I were around to guide you, I would really guide you to use your harsh vocals to heighten your clean. So, and I have to do this. I've done this with several bands before. Listen, I dig the whole clean, growly mix. Trust me, I do. But one of the things that I try to remind people of is that growling is to get people's attention in a holy crap kind of way, whereas clean vocals are to keep somebody's attention. There's a difference between bang, bang, you're surprised, and hey, I'd like to talk to you. So that's what a clean vocal is. Hey, let's have a conversation. Whereas that growl is just a, hey, look at me. So I always tend to tell people to use that growl to emphasize the clean and not the other way around. Because if you're using your clean vocals to emphasize your growl, you're not having a conversation. You just keep tapping somebody and saying, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. So anyway, I think there's a lot of good stuff there. Production was nice. The performance was good. So it was cool, man. I'd wear the shirt. Good stuff there. Green Death with Manufacturing Evil. Well, isn't that fun? Coming up right now on Soundcheck. Let's do this.
This is Brandon from Fall River Massacre, and you're listening to the Metal Moose.
Hey, this is David, bass player from Texas, and you're listening to Metal Moose Radio.
Green Death, not what I expected from a band named Green Death at all. Really, really, really good though. Tight, clean, good production, awesome guitar riffs. I like the way the song was written. It had pieces, it had movements, and the vocalist just rules. You guys might be getting a call from Rob Flynn from Machine Head if he ever happens to hear that. Just throwing that out there. I mean, I take it with a grain of salt, but I'm just saying it could happen. So yeah, Green Death. I'd wear the shirt. That was cool. It was a throwback. You know what I mean? It was 1987, 88 thrash. You know, when Megaforce and everybody else was just busting their ass to sign every thrash band, and there were about, I don't know, 10 good ones, but you know, that was good. Green, that was a real good throwback, man. I liked it. It was enjoyable. The vocals were great. Everything was cool about it. There wasn't any really bad thing about it other than, I mean, it was a throwback, and because sometimes I struggle with the throwback bands because, like, people like me are going to go, oh man, that was old school, and you know, that's been done a trillion times. But then on the other hand, if there's a kid who's, you know, just getting into metal and stuff, and they heard that, they don't know they don't know if that's a throwback, and they're like, hell yeah, man, Green Death, that was rad. So I don't ever want to discourage throwback music, because it's important, I think, there's so many kids out there who think that, you know, Disturbed and Five Finger Death Punch is where metal started, and that is a sin, man. That is criminal. That should be like against the law. You should, you know, go to prison if you're telling kids that, you know, Asking Alexandria are the godfathers of metal, or, you know, the Black Veil Brides or something. You know, sometimes when I see kids, you know, wearing a Falling in Reverse shirt, I just want to go shake him and go, who is Tony Iommi, you little bastard? Anybody else have that issue? That just me? Okay, just maybe I'm a little involved in my. I call it passion. Yeah, it's passion. It's passionate. This next band is called Hideous Divinity, with that's a good name for a band, because yeah, it's kind of a double negative, and I don't know. Yeah, I like it. The song is called Ages Die. My name is Moose, coming to you from the Moose Pit Studio in Oklahoma City. This is Soundcheck. Hope you're having a good time. There's a possibility that you are naked, and that's awesome, because so am I. It's true.
Moose rocks Canada.
That's only the beginning of the new flesh.
This is Cadaveria from Cadaveria Band, and you are listening to the Metal Moose.
Man, oh damn, Sam. Wow, so Hideous Divinity, that was real deal, real good quality death metal. I call that, and don't get me wrong, it's just my own phrase, I call that unique leader quality, which means that it was well produced, it was well performed, it was technical, it was furious, it was angry, it was all the things good death metal should be. Death metal is another one of those genres that, I don't know if you guys heard that burp or not, but it was luscious. Was just overrun by garbage, cookie cutter, not good. You know, whenever, you know, the whole, when the whole Florida death metal scene started taking over, you know, Deicide and Morbid Angel and Obituary and Carcass, and you know, Carcass, of course, being from the UK, but not of Florida. But long story short, when the death metal thing started happening and it started selling decent amount of records, and all the record labels were out trying to sign every band that had a singer that did this, there was some really terrible music released. And I think it's taken a number of years to wash some of that garbage out of the system. And, you know, thank God that we've got bands like Nile and the Faceless and the Coalescence and these bands that have done good things with and that right there. Wow. So yeah, man, really good. I would totally dig the hell out of that in my vehicle on the way to work, just, you know, air drumming at 290 BPM, scaring people. Oh my God, look at that fat guy. He is moving so fast. Yeah, I like it. I'm a fan. I would totally wear the shirt. And that's a 4.5 taco deal, man. That was good, worthy to listen to death metal. So yeah, I feel good about that tune. Hope you guys are having a good time listening to the show, no matter where you're listening from. If you're listening on one of the many radio stations across the world, including Crave Radio in Dallas, Texas, 102.7 WSNR, Boston Rocks Radio, Philly Rock Radio. I think we're on Philly anyway. Indie Rage Radio. If you're listening on a radio station, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Of course, who was I going to say? Red Earth, Tim over at Red Earth. There's a lot of people carrying the show, but Tim's been around since the beginning. Anyway, if you're listening to us on iTunes or YouTube or TuneIn or iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to us from, even YouTube, you can pick it up on YouTube, which it's not a very exciting video, but the show's there, so you can listen to us there. So thank you wherever you are and whoever you are for listening to the show. We're going into 2018, so we're going into our 4th year of the show as we continue to bring you a bunch of music you've never heard of before, and hopefully you're finding music that you like, because that's why we do it. We're here so you can hear music from the underground that is not getting played by Big Rock Radio. And I'm on my constant tour to try to find a stalker. Yeah, I'm looking for a stalker. So, yeah, I think that'll be fun to have one. Coming up right now, a band called Into the Coven with a song called The Witching Hour. Surprise!
What's up, metalheads? This is Jerry from Gut Wretch, hardcore metal melodic band from Kansas, and you are listening to Metal Moose Radio. Be sure and listen to our track.
It's another one of those, Sabbath throwback stoner rock thing there. Like, Into the Coven, right? That was the name of the band? Yeah, so I would just suggest not trying to hit those high notes. There was some plant life here in the studio that committed suicide when you did that, and so yeah, I wasn't a fan of those. I like the production. That bass was way up front. It had that old, muffled kind of, just that big, muffy bass tone from years past, Years Past and the Big Muff. What's the name of my next band? Welcome Years Past and the Big Muff. No? Okay. Well, anyway, so I liked the production. I liked the direction. I totally dig that it's cool. Biker, rally, stoner, rock stuff. I mean, just people getting high and dancing naked around fires and, stuff like that. So it was cool. I mean, it was, I'd wear the shirt just because it was funny. Here's the kind of a deal like that. Whenever you're in a band like that, I think that it's a very safe bet because everybody's going to dig it. You know what I mean? Everybody who's been into rock and roll in their life is going to, it's just like being in a band that sounds like AC/DC. People are going to dig it. They're going to get into it and they're going to love it. If you're in a band that sounds like Sabbath, they're going to like it. It's got that classic rock tinge to it. And yeah, girls are going to be throwing their bras on stage. And yeah, so it's cool. It's a very safe play. It was cool though. I'd wear it. The high vocals really knocked you down a couple. I'm going to go with about a 3.5 because that was almost as bad as Danny Goki trying to hit the high note and Dream On American Idol, or Bon Jovi at the end of Runaway. That was another really bad high vocal moment. Not good. So, but yeah, man, Into the Coven, right on. I'd wear the shirt. Why not? Pretty cool. Coming up next is a band called Jagged Mouth. I don't know the name of the song. It just says Final Master, which means this is the final master of whatever song they sent me. And hell, I don't know anymore because it could have been 8 months ago that I got this. Who knows? So we're going to play it, though, and we're going to hope that we like it because we've liked some of the stuff on here. Some of the stuff's been, it happens, but it's part of the deal. We're going to, we got a couple songs left after Jagged Mouth, and we're going to have fun until then. And if you are naked, have you rubbed Cheeto dust on yourself? That is an important part of the Metal Moose. Or if you're empty, you're cracking taco shells on yourself. That's also a good idea. Dangerous, though. Watch out for the sharp points. Mm-hmm.
This is Brett Schlegel from Skeleton Wolf, and you are listening to The Metal Moose.
This is Noah Shark from Moto Grader, and you're listening to Metal Moose Radio.
You're damn right. You know, one of the things I love about doing a podcast, and one of the reasons why I don't ever particularly plan on going live, is I started this show on Saturday. It's now Monday, so and unless you happen to listen to the whole show, you'll never know that. Anyway, so I was started this on Saturday, and I've got some really cool new stuff in since then. I got tired or something. I don't remember why I stopped doing the show on Saturday, but real quickly, that last song. So I think it kind of sucks when, and this happened a lot during the glam days, if you guys remember that whole deal, when, well, no, I got it backwards. Never mind. Forget the glam reference. I think it sucks when you love the vocal in a song and the song itself. God, that was so loose. It was awful. I didn't like how, I mean, it's one thing to be sludge. It's one thing to, have that NOLA sound, but it's got to have some semblance of, time signature and just tightness to it. I mean, I've met some girls standing outside of tour buses that were tighter than that. Well, we just offended somebody. Yeah, it's Moose here with you on Soundcheck, and we've got some amazing stuff coming up later. Brand new Grave Huffer, brand new Angel Vivaldi for you guitar shredders out there. Also, brand new Drama Queen, and a band from Oklahoma that just contacted me. So it's always fun to play hometown bands from Duncan, Oklahoma, called Dreadhour or Dreador. Something, I don't know, it's probably more fancy than that, but anyway, yeah, so we'll play them a little bit later on the show. We got a long way to go, so this show is about 15 minutes longer than normal, so bonus for you. That's what happens when I stop in the middle of a show and I get back in. I'm like, oh, wow, actually, it's just because of all the new stuff I got. So, yeah, man, I'm totally stoked about it. A bunch of brand new stuff for you guys right here, and, we love the guys in Grave Huffer, and same for... same for the fact that I'm losing my voice. Same for Drama Queen. Awesome dudes and good supporter. Also, brand new Horse's Head, which, nothing sells love like a band called Horse's Head. Just guess depends on the way you take it, actually, but I take it as a compliment. Thank you. Here we go.
Hi, this is Twister, singer from Maximize, based in London, England, alternative progressive metal band. We're listening to the Metal Moose. It's a great show. Stay cool. Bye.
with the latest in high-octane metal. Metal Moose. You've been weighed, you've been measured, you've been found wanting. Metal Moose. For the latest in high-octane metal. Metal Moose. Visit them on Facebook at Metal Moose Radio for weekly podcasts and more up-to-date information and events. Metal Up. Metal Moose.
A little bit of kefir there, which I like to add a little kefir on top of my salad with my kale. Yeah, so I don't know what kefir is. It was my attempt at being funny. You know what was original about that tune? Nothing. You know what was good about the production? Absolutely nothing. You know what was done in that song that we've never heard before? Absolutely nothing. And I loved it. That was just one of those examples of sometimes you can do stuff that's been done a bunch of times and it just works. Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, look at AC/DC and ZZ Top. They've been doing the same record for 40 years. Same thing over and over, and it works. You kind of look at Slayer. Yeah, I mean, if you want to get down into details, not every album is Rain and Blood, but I mean, it's the same kind of record. I don't think Raining Blood to God Hates Us All is that much of a stretch. And I think if you look back at Slayer when they tried to do something, a little different, Diabolus and Musica. Anyway, sometimes it doesn't go over so well. So anyway, sometimes just doing the same thing over and over again leads to good things. That's what she said. All right, guys. So it's Moose here with you from the Moose Pit here in Oklahoma City. I'm excited tonight because we got some really cool stuff that hasn't been dropped on radio yet. Actually, I think the Grave Huffer tune has probably been on other radio stations because those guys in Grave Huffer hustle their asses off, and that's one of the reasons they're not my favorite band. They're not. I mean, it's just not. They're good and they're fun, and it's just not my favorite music in the world. But they bust their ass, so I play them. And we're gonna play. Listen, not my favorite band, but a lot of people love them. So, it's kind of like those websites with midgets. I personally am not into it, but obviously somebody's paying for it because they're watching it, right? Coming up next is a band called Lord Giver with a song called what the hell is Sagacious Fortitude, which, who doesn't have Sagacious Fortitude? I know I do, right? What the hell?
The metal moves on the air across the globe, he's everywhere. Sheet of dust all over the place, on the mic and in his face. New school, old school doesn't care. In the rocks you'll find it here. Look at the world, he's on the loose. The metal moose show starts right now. The police swallow, juicy reason.
Hey, this is Mikey T from Shadows Fall, and you're rocking out on The Moose.
Lord Giver, Lord, give them somebody to help that production. What in the... So in the beginning, I thought, okay, this is kind of a weird, cool kind of flangey kind of thing, but it's cool. It'll kick in here in a minute, and it'll be full production, and it just stayed that weird flangey production. It just, to me... Yeah, so not so much on that one. I probably am going to go with a not wear the Lord Giver shirt. But I will pray for them that the Lord do give her some production, because I think probably with some good production, that would be an okay tune, an okay kind of a deal. I mean, look, I don't know that it's anything that none of us has heard before, but like I said, sometimes that's a good thing when you hear stuff that... You guys ever heard of Armageddon? The Final War Approaching? One of the best Dark Throne clone bands I've ever heard in my life. I mean, it is absolute Dark Throne worship, and it is really, really good. So, I mean, I know that people have said to me before that they're not a big fan of me saying... that sounds like, this has all been done before. But listen, there's some really good stuff out there that's been done before, and keeps getting done again and done well. But so, I mean, that was, to some people that was amazing, groundbreaking stuff. And to me, it was just okay. And I didn't like the flanged production. But so I'm going to go no on the shirt. And I'll give you guys, 2 tacos just for being out there putting out music, because... metal's important, and I want you to put out metal. So even if I like it or not, you put it out anyway, because there's a lot of crap out there I don't like that, some necessary evils that we have to put up with, but it happens. So anyway, that was my Bob Stoops impression. New-ish, brand new to most of the world, but new Gravehuffer. I appreciate these guys sending it to me. New tune called Your Fault right here on Soundcheck. Check out Gravehuffer, man. Like I said, not my favorite band, but man, a lot of people love the hell up. Just signed a deal with Bluntface Records, I believe. So congrats, guys. Hope you guys enjoy this tune. Gravehuffer, Your Fault, right here from the Moose Pit with the Moose in OKC.
What's up? This is Vil from Fuck the Facts, and you're listening to The Moose.
1960s represented the last burst of the human being before he was extinguished. And that this is the beginning of the rest of the future now. And from now on, there'll simply be see all these robots walking around, feeling nothing, thinking nothing. Nobody left almost to remind them that there once was a species called a human being, with feelings and thoughts, and that history and memory are right now being erased, and soon nobody will really remember that life existed on the planet.
This is Dennis from Sacred Groove, and you are listening to the Metal Moose.
I've given all the praise that I could possibly give to the guys in Gravehuffer. I think they're an awesome band. I think they're busting their ass promoting themselves. I think we need more bands like them out there just absolutely carrying the torch of metal and with no shame, and I love those guys. So there it is, the brand new Gravehuffer on Soundcheck. Real quick, I don't know if I mentioned it since it's been a couple days since I got behind the mic here in the studio. If you have not checked out themetalheadbox.com, make sure and do that. The Metalhead Box, it's a subscription service. They send you a box every month full of heavy metal goodies like CDs and shirts and LPs and all kinds of amazing stuff. There's another subscription service that I want to talk to you guys about called Witch Casket, which is just like the Metalhead Box, but it's for witches, and it has like crystals and spells and candles and stuff like that. Listen, so I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a fan. I think it's awesome. I don't know that I would say that I'm necessarily a witch, but I am about some religious freedoms, and I'm about supporting people that support religious freedoms. And so I talked to the awesome ladies over at Witch Casket, and I said, listen, I want to tell people about your stuff. So I don't know how many witchy kind of people we have listening to the show, but I know, metal and witchcraft and, all that stuff kind of goes in hand. So it's about a 50-50 split on men and women that listen to the show. So if you're a girl and you like crystals and candles, which girls don't like that stuff, right? Yeah, so Witch Casket, they're based in the UK, so I think it's witchcasket.uk. Or if you're a guy and you like crystals and candles and lavender and stuff, Yeah, so anyway, coming up next is a guy that absolutely just shreds on the guitar, has for a long time, and I don't know tons about him other than that the first time I saw him, it was on YouTube. So obviously he's been putting out records and stuff like that, but Angel Vivaldi is his name. Speaking of guys that like lavender and crystals and stuff, I know the picture of him on his bed with the Mesa Boogie stacks on the side, a little fruity. Just being honest with you, just a little. It doesn't matter. He shreds. He shreds away. Rob Halford's fruity, and it's awesome. It's cool. So I'm not. Don't freak out there, people. That's the last thing I need. I'm not. Anyway, just Angel and his guitar and his silk sheets. A little strange. Here he is with the new cut Inferno.
This is Noah Shark from Moto Grader, and you're listening to Metal Moose Radio.
We are Game Zero, and you're listening to The Moose. We'd like to introduce you our new single, The City with No Hands, that will be on the soundtrack of the animated feature His Stand, coming soon. Check it out.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. If I could play a guitar like that, I'd probably be taking pictures of myself in bed with my guitar with silk sheets and, like, you know, half stacks as my nightstands, too. Just, I mean, it's a little fruity looking, but to be honest with you, if I could do that, I'd be doing the same. Yeah. Get on in here. Let me play some guitar for you. Age of Vivaldi. Disgustingly good. And, yeah, so I can make fun all I want, but that guy's, you know, he's buried in women, I'm sure. So, yeah. I mean, I'd have silk sheets, too. So we try to get these new releases out to you, only doing, you know, 1 or 2 shows a week. Sometimes we get, as a matter of fact, I'm so far behind. I've got, I'm to the point now where I could do pretty much a show every day just on the music that I get sent every day. So I think at last count I had something like 190 gig or something. I don't know. That's on each hard drive. I've got disgusting amounts of music that I'll never be able to catch up to. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to try to not play the same bands a bunch of times. You know, usually you'll hear a band on Metal Moose or Soundcheck once. If you're lucky, you know, you get it once, and then if people request it, or there's a, you know, if they have a new song out, like the guys in Drama Queen, they've been played on the show before, but they have a new tune and they sent it over to us, so we're going to play that. But that's one of the things I kind of take pride in with the show, was that if you listen to this show on a consistent basis, you're getting the most new music that you can get anywhere. Because we don't play the same bands. It just doesn't happen. So you're getting like 15 new bands every single show. It's like the encyclopedia of underground metal. And you get it right here on Soundcheck. And I'm proud of that, damn it. So if you're coming back wanting to hear, you know, Pantera and Slayer and Metallica, you're in the wrong place, Jack. We do this, the future metal is played right here. So yeah, that's if we don't all die with North Korea, and, you know, so just throwing that out there. Horsehead. Gotta love a little Horsehead with a song called Inferno right here on the check with the Moose. Let's get it on.
This is Steve DC from Street Empire, and you're listening to the Metal Moose. Yeah, yeah!
And some Horsehead there on Soundcheck with the Moose. I know that says Metal Moose Radio, and a lot of you may be confused. Is this Metal Moose Radio? All these people are saying you're listening to the Moose. I am the Moose. Metal Moose Radio was the original name of this show. We started it back in 2014. We're going on, getting ready to hit 4 years doing this. 4 years and 4,000 bands. It's a bunch of music, and but this show is called Soundcheck because for the longest time, every time somebody would send in a piece of music, they would say, "Hey man, let us know what you think." And I never paid attention. I was like, whatever, just leave me alone. But now I decided actually in December of 2016, I thought, you know what, I'm tired of people saying that, so damn it, I'm going to start telling people what I think about it. And I've been doing that. We've had a lot of fun with it. I started in this business doing reviews for the Metal Observer over in Germany, and moved on to Pit Magazine and Heaven's Metal, and I did reviews for a long time. And so I thought, you know what, I enjoy it. I like to listen to stuff and find new ways to critique and talk about guitar tones and snare drums and song structures and stuff like that. So for me, it's a lot of fun. I get to, kind of live vicariously like I'm Bob Rock or something. And I'm like, yeah, let's try a little pepper off the top there. So for you young kids, that was a reference from a Metallica video. Yeah. Anyway, so it's Soundcheck, and we have a lot of fun doing this. We're on a bunch of radio stations across the world. We are on Contact United Nations in France. We're on Metal Messiah Radio in Italy. Also, Crave Radio in the great state of Texas. To all our friends down in Houston, man, we're thinking about you. Hopefully we can get this hurricane stuff out of the way, but it looks like it's getting ready to throttle Florida next. So, alligators and sharks in people's backyards, man. Fantastic. So, yeah, we're praying for you, Houston. And here in Oklahoma City, it's a very, very nice day. It was about 96 degrees today, but we got a cold front moving in, going to be in the 80s the rest of the week. So, and that's your Soundcheck weather, traffic and weather together at the top of the hour. No, just kidding. Anyway, it's been pretty nice, man. So fall's coming along. It's my favorite time of the year. Sweaters, pumpkin spice, chicks in costumes. It's Halloween. It's my favorite time. Anyway, yeah, so fall, leaves, and hot cocoa and all that stuff. So, yeah, man, it's good. Tonight I'll get back in out of the studio, watch a little Bates Motel, and my wife just had surgery, so taking care of her as well. Mama Moose had to go under the knife and had a little surgery done, and she's doing great. Thanks for everybody for writing in and being supportive of that. So it's family, all of us here. We're about that family deal. So coming up next is a band from Oklahoma, from Duncan, Oklahoma, called Dreaddoor or Dreaddour. I don't know. I tried to make it cool with that voice effect. Dreaddour, Vengeance. Just got this in today. So yeah, I'll surprise the hell out of those guys. Here it comes from Oklahoma. Dreaddoor. Was that tough? Was it cool?
You've just joined the Moose Crew.
willing to become blind. I won't be forced to waiting. I won't go back inside. What now? My life to live right now. Just leave me alone. I can fight on my own. Don't need your sympathy. Bring my misery. I know what I must do. Destroy what's left of you. Revenge is coming! You ought to spray your life. It's what till you're dead. I can't move on with your life. No trace of truth inside. Now what do you do when all your friends are against you? That staggers and misery. I said it comes to blood. I look to the light in the darkness. I'd like to make a blind. I won't be forced to waiting. I won't go back inside. But you, my life to live right now. Just leave me alone. I'm too fine on my own. Don't need your sympathy. Bring my misery. I know what I must do. Destroy what's left of you. Revenge is coming. I'm the vermin. I'm the same. Is that what you think of me? Toxic. Disgusting. Get that raw still
All right, my brothers in Dread Hour. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. But, okay, so first, let me do this. Let me just tell you that it reminds me a lot of a band called Morning Again. And that's a high compliment for me because I love Morning Again. Check them out on Spotify and just listen to anything off of, I don't even remember what it's called now. Something. As Tradition Dies Slowly. There it is. Really good. I like it. It has that hardcore feel to it. With the vocals, it's got the metal leads, and I like a lot of things about it. But here's what I want to say, and this is not mean. You guys have 2 guitar players. Use them. One of your guitar players has a real tinny tone, and there's a lot of space, a lot of empty air left back there for the other guitar player to do something to fill in, give it a little chunk, and going along with that, the bass guitar is completely silent in the mix. And there's a lot of room for some really cool bass texturing to thicken up your sound. I would wear the shirt, man. And if you have a shirt, please get one to me. 3X if you have it. I think that's the only advice that I have. It needs to be thickened up. Use that other guitar, man. Behind, I mean, you've got so much room to fill there. And that doesn't mean you got to fill every second with noise, you know what I mean? But texturing is a big deal. I listen to a band like Grade out of Canada. Listen to how they use their guitars to texture their songs. I think I love it. Like, it sounds so much like a Morning Again. I'm a total fan. I just think that you guys maybe can use your other guitar and your bass to really fill that space, to give it a little bit more, deep end, a little bit more ass, like a Kardashian. So, yeah, but man, I dig it. I would. That's a 4 taco for me, and that's even with a lot of space in it. So, I see a good future for you guys, man. That's good stuff. It's really good stuff. So, I look forward to hearing further things from you in the future. Hopefully with some bass guitar and that other guitar doing something. But yeah, man, coming up next, I think, I don't even know, but I'm about to run out of time. So, yeah, Drama Queen with Annie. Here we go.
You are listening to the Metal Moose.
You're not a beauty queen, living in a magazine. I know
And it's Drama Queen on Soundcheck. So I don't know the whole story behind this song, but apparently that it was inspired by the wife of Striper guitarist Oz Fox, Annie something. She's Oz Fox's wife. I don't know if the guys in Drama Queen just think she's hot or if there's some sort of story behind the song, but if I'm Oz Fox, I'm like, okay, we're going to talk about, there are bands out there writing songs telling you that you love you, and I don't know what's going on. So it's just, I'm a little insecure about this. Drama Queen, good band, man. Good dudes, good band. I think there's definitely a band you'll hear from in the future of hard rock music. So it's one of those bands that's hard rock, and God, man, sometimes I'm dying for some hard rock because a lot of times it's just and sometimes I get a little worn on that. So I love the hard rock bands, and so yeah, man, it's been a cool night. We had some premieres for you guys with the Gravehuffer and Vivaldi and Dreadzor, and those guys right there in Drama Queen. So thanks to the Metalhead Box, as always. Also Tornado Tattoo, the official tattoo parlor of the Moose. That's where I get all my tattoos, as well as Mama Moose. We get our tattoos there. Josh Poindexter. Also Witch Casket, thanks to the ladies that run that. Awesome deal. Make sure to check out Gore House Records as well, man. Before I run out of time, I got to find this. So this family writes today, and apparently they're in the UK, and they love the show, and I don't know if it's a joke. That's the sad thing about the world today, is that I have so many people who hate me that this could totally be a joke, but just in case it's not, oh, by the way, thanks to Robert Pilson from No Slip Records sending out the new Wolves of Winter. Okay, the Beat family in the United Kingdom sent me a picture and told me that they love the show and they never miss it, and said him and his family are big fans, and they sent a picture, and that's really cool. So I'm saying hello because I promised that I would, and if somebody's paying you to do this, congratulations. If you guys are actually big fans, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you wherever you're listening from. They listen on iTunes, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, man. So listen to Soundcheck with the Moose. I hope you guys have an awesome week, and we may do one Thursday. We may not. We'll see what happens. But until next time, I've got a new line. It's not going to be take care anymore. Wake up, kick ass, be kind, repeat. And until next time, stay thick. That's it.
All rights to the music heard on the Metal Moose are reserved by the authors, their labels, or authorized representatives that permitted their material to be used. The Metal Moose holds no rights to any music played on the show. Go to themetalmoose.com to submit your music to be heard on the show. The Metal Moose accepts donations of money, Cheetos, bacon, and naked pictures. Thank you for tuning in and subscribe on iTunes. Rock out while you rack out, and consider yourself moosed.